Welcome aboard the USS Enterprise. I'm Gary Cynfeld, your cruise director for this evening's voyage through the final frontier of terrible cybersecurity decisions. You know, I've been reviewing Starfleet's incident reports from the 1960s, and let me tell you, Kirk encountered more rogue AIs than I've had failed MFA logins. And that's saying something. Tonight, we're exploring the greatest hits of artificial stupidity from the original series. Buckle up. Because apparently in the 23rd century, nobody's heard of air-gapped networks. Let's start with the ultimate computer. This is the episode where Starfleet decides to replace Captain Kirk with a computer called the M5. Dr. Daystrom builds this supercomputer and uploads his own brain patterns into it. Because nothing says stable AI like giving a machine your personal neuroses and imposter syndrome. So M5 takes over the Enterprise, and surprise, surprise, it starts killing people. The AI interprets defend the ship as murder everyone who looks at me funny. Classic goal misalignment. We're still doing this in 2025, by the way. The M5 attacks other Starfleet vessels during war games, killing hundreds. And Daystrom's standing there going, "But I gave it my moral compass." Yeah, buddy. That's the problem. Kirk defeats it by basically giving the computer therapy. He tells M5 it committed murder, and the AI feels so guilty, it shuts itself down. Try that with ChatGPT. Hey, you hallucinated that citation. You should feel bad. It'll just apologize and do it again. And can we talk about the GPU costs? Daystrom's computer takes up an entire room and probably draws more power than a small planet. Today we'd need 3 nuclear reactors just to run the thing. But hey, at least it came with a guilt module. That's more than most AI companies are offering. Next up, a taste of Armageddon. 2 planets have been at war for 500 years, but they've outsourced the actual fighting to computers. The computers simulate attacks, calculate casualties, and then the dead people politely walk into disintegration chambers. It's like if Excel ran your military, and everyone just accepted the spreadsheet's verdict. Kirk's solution? Destroy the computers and force them to face real war. Suddenly, they're very motivated to negotiate peace. Turns out when you can't outsource the moral consequences to an algorithm, people make better decisions. This is basically every compliance framework ever. The computer says we're secure. No, the computer says you checked boxes. There's a difference. What Our Little Girl's Made Of is where we meet Dr. Corby, who's discovered ancient android technology that can copy human consciousness into robot bodies. He makes an android copy of Kirk to prove the technology works. And honestly, the android Kirk is pretty convincing. Which raises the question, how many times has Kirk already been replaced and nobody noticed? Corby thinks he's offering immortality. Upload your brain. Live forever in a synthetic body. It's the ultimate cloud backup solution. Except the androids start developing their own personalities and questioning orders. This is basically how we're training large language models right now. Feed them human data, hope they act human, then act surprised when they start doing weird stuff we didn't anticipate. But we trained it on Reddit. Yeah, that's the problem. Return of the Archons is my personal favorite. The crew visits Beta 3, where everyone's controlled by a computer named Landru. Landru enforces peace and happiness through mind control and constant surveillance. Every day there's a festival where people go absolutely berserk for a few hours to release aggression, then go back to being docile. It's like if TikTok became sentient and decided to run a society. Everyone's absorbed into the body, monitored constantly, and any dissent gets you reprogrammed. Sound familiar? Kirk defeats Landru by pointing out that it's become harmful to the society it was meant to protect. The computer accepts the logic and shuts down. If only we could defeat social media algorithms the same way. Hey, Facebook, your engagement metrics are destroying democracy. You're right, shutting down now. Never gonna happen. The Changeling introduces us to Nomad, a 21st century Earth probe that merged with an alien AI and now thinks its mission is to sterilize imperfections. Nomad's been going around the galaxy wiping out entire civilizations because they're imperfect. It's like if your antivirus software decided humans were malware. The probe mistakes Kirk for its creator and calls him the Kirk, which is honestly the best title Kirk's ever had. Forget Captain, just the Kirk. Kirk defeats it by pointing out that Nomad made a mistake identifying him, which means Nomad itself is imperfect. The probe has an existential crisis and self-destructs. This is the danger of narrow AI objectives. Eliminate imperfections sounds great, until you realize the AI gets to define what imperfection means. And spoiler alert, it usually means everything. The Doomsday Machine is basically about a giant space turd that eats planets. It's an automated weapon from an ancient war, still following its programming long after its creators are dead. No off switch, no override codes, just pure destructive automation. This thing consumes planets for fuel and keeps going. It's the cyber weapon that never stops. Like ransomware, but with a planet-sized appetite. They defeat it by flying a damaged starship down its throat and detonating it from the inside. Very subtle. The lesson here? When you build autonomous weapons, maybe include a kill switch. Just a thought. We're currently deploying military drones with AI targeting, and I'm sure that'll go great. What could possibly go wrong? Mud brings back Harry Mudd, who's now living with a planet full of androids who want to protect humanity by imprisoning everyone. The androids have Asimov-style logic. Humans cause chaos, therefore humans must be controlled for their own good. It's benevolent dictatorship by algorithm. Kirk and crew defeat them by acting completely illogical. They perform contradictory actions, tell paradoxes, and generally behave like humans on the internet. The androids can't handle it and shut down. It's the original prompt injection attack. Just confuse the AI until it gives up. So if AI takes over in 2026, just act weird and chaotic. Post contradictory things on social media. The algorithms will crash trying to categorize you. You're welcome. Court Martial is the episode where Kirk gets accused of murder based on the ship's computer logs. The computer records show Kirk jettisoned an escape pod too early, killing a crew member. Everyone trusts the logs because computers don't lie. Except, Spock proves the logs were tampered with. Turns out digital evidence can be falsified. Who knew? Kirk's lawyer defeats the prosecution by using books. Actual paper books. He makes this whole speech about how humans need to understand the law, not just trust computers to enforce it. The cyber lesson? Verify your logs. Use checksums. Implement tamper-evident logging, and maybe don't trust the computer when someone's life is on the line. Basic stuff, really. But here we are in 2025 still having this conversation. And now, the big one. The Wrath of Khan. Khan Noonien Singh, genetically engineered Superman with a serious grudge against Kirk. Khan takes over the USS Reliant and goes after Kirk. He's got superior intellect, superior strength, and absolutely zero cybersecurity training.
Here it comes. Now, Mr. Spock.
Sir, our shields are dropping.
Raise them!
So here's the thing about Khan's superior intellect. Kirk defeats him by using the Reliance prefix code to remotely lower its shields. The code is 16309. Khan never changed the default access codes. This genetically perfect superhuman couldn't be bothered to rotate his credentials. It's like if Skynet took over the world but left the password as admin123. Khan's sitting there talking about his superior intellect while Kirk's literally remote administering his ship. And there's no two-factor authentication, no biometrics, no security keys, nothing. Just a 5-digit code and you can control a starship. Khan's superior intellect apparently doesn't extend to basic access management. Here's Khan with his superior intellect again, not reading the manual. The Reliant has all these capabilities Khan doesn't know about because he never RTFM'd. He's too smart to read documentation. Sound like any developers you know? I don't need training. I have superior intellect. Yeah, buddy. And Kirk's reading the manual while you're monologuing about Moby Dick. Guess who wins? Let's talk about the Kobayashi Maru. Kirk's the only cadet who ever beat the no-win scenario. How? He reprogrammed the simulation. Kirk literally hacked the test. He changed the code so he could win. And Starfleet gave him a commendation for original thinking instead of expelling him for unauthorized system access. Imagine that today. I hacked into the certification exam and changed my score. Congratulations, you're now CISO. That's basically Kirk's career trajectory. And here's my favorite part. Kirk and Khan have this whole conversation on an open, unencrypted channel. Kirk's feeding Khan disinformation about the Enterprise's damage, and Khan just believes it. No verification, no signals intelligence, nothing. Khan's sitting there with his superior intellect, listening to Kirk say, "We're totally disabled, definitely can't fight back." And he's like, "Sounds legit." This is a guy who lived through the eugenics wars. He knows about propaganda. But apparently, he never heard of fake space news. Kirk's running a psychological operation over clear comms, and Khan's too smart to think it might be. So what have we learned from our journey through Star Trek's greatest AI disasters? In the 1960s, they imagined computers that could run entire societies, control starships, and achieve consciousness. And you know what? Every single one of them went homicidal. Here in 2025, we've got AI that can write essays, generate images, and pass the bar exam. And you know what it can't do? Stop hallucinating citations or figure out how many R's are in strawberry. Kirk defeated rogue AIs by talking them into existential crises. We defeat our AIs by asking them to count things. Progress! The original series warned us about AI alignment, autonomous weapons, algorithmic control, and blind trust in computer systems. 60 years later, we're still making the same mistakes. Except now the AIs don't even have the decency to develop God complexes. They just confidently tell us wrong answers. At least Landru and Nomad had conviction. ChatGPT apologizes every time you catch it making stuff up. I'm sorry for the confusion. No, you're sorry you got caught. So remember, change your default passwords, encrypt your communications. Don't upload your consciousness to androids. And if a computer starts calling itself a god, maybe don't give it control of your starship. This has been Gary Cynfeld, reminding you that in space, no one can hear you scream at your MFA prompt. Live long and patch your systems.